This tank is the 40 TP. This is a Polish tier 6. Perhaps it's a medium tank or a heavy tank. And the map is Erlenberg. I'm going to show you a sniping position that you can play on this map. And actually, when I played this game, I seem to recall that this position was actually more versatile than I had played before. If this is a game that I'm thinking of, you're going to see some weird gameplay. I might not have Sixth Sense on this particular tank because my Polish crew, I never bought Polish premium tanks, so my crew does not level up, and I'm really not paying for the game much anymore, so I'm not training the crews to 100%. You know, I'm saving money right now, playing economically. So first of all, there's 3 sniping aspects that I'm going to talk about with this position. If you've seen this in my other videos, keep on watching because you're going to see some new stuff that you haven't seen in other sniping videos that I've done. So number 1, we can shoot at the tanks that are on the east side. Number 2, what I've discovered is that you can shoot okay, to my right, there's obviously a river and there's a bridge and there's little windows and you can shoot through the windows, and that's an example of one of the windows, and you can hit those tanks through those windows. It's something that I just discovered in this game. You do have to be very accurate and be careful because he is going to shoot back at me through the windows. I actually hit between 2 buildings that were even more narrow than that. Okay, so you're seeing that I'm having difficulty, but I am going to have some shots going through there. Because that tank is not spotted, obviously I have to back up. So now there's going to be another sniping aspect to this position, and you can see it right here. You see out over there, okay, might have to put it back in this mode. If you look on the right of the screen, you're going to see 2 enemy tanks or more, one being a KV-2 on the upper right screen. What's going to happen is, if they try to come around that building, there's a Tiger 1, a KV-2, and another tank. I'm going to be able to assist my team by shooting up that road. So this position is actually going to be very powerful and very flexible and versatile. That EBR seems to have forgotten that I'm here. Obviously, in order to take advantage of all these things, you will need a tank that has a turret. You can see that that enemy tank is still there. And I hit him through the window, and he hit me through the window. And I did 17 more damage than he did. Okay, so I want to help out my allies over here that are being rushed. It's going to be very difficult because I might not have 100% crew on this, which means that my shots are not going to be as accurate. This is a crappy tank, and I just upgraded it to the newer turret. I don't know if it's probably got the best gun that you can get. It's not a great tank to play. I can't wait to get rid of it. With these types of tanks, you need things like the gun laying drive and the vertical stabilizers. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of problems shooting at long distance. I'm willing to bet you that I haven't maxed out the aiming, but I've definitely improved it by the way I've equipped my tank. So here we're probably going to see an example of how I can shoot down that road. It looks like that's an enemy tank destroyer that's aiming in my direction. I'm pretty sure we are going to get shots on tanks down that road. I have 709 damage, 511 spotting damage, and note that I do not have the full range of my spotting up to the white circle, which is 445 meters. So here you can see that these, okay, so he did notice me. But luckily his armor on that side is not that strong. I'll be able to penetrate him. Very difficult to shoot through these windows. And I killed him. So I was able to get 2 hits, total of around 470 damage on that 40 TP. And then I can just go here, maneuver around. I went a little bit further than I needed to, but note that that enemy tank is not paying attention to me. Although the M6 was, and he took me out of the game. The KV-2 took me out of the game. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that position. Let's move on to another video. This tank is the AMX ELC BIS. This is a French Tier 5 light tank, and the map is Wide Park. When I first saw this tank being played in a game, I was mind blown. The first thing that I said was, I have to get this tank. It was Siegfried line, and I saw it do some amazing maneuver driving, and I was like, holy crap, I had never seen this tank before. So we're going to do sniping positions on Wide Park. You're familiar with this position, but because Wargaming likes the corridor map design, there's houses blocking all the way, so you really don't have a lot of sniping abilities here. So, but really close to here, there's a good sniping spot that you're going to find, and it's right here across these tracks. And I'm not going to go to the perfect location. You're going to have to find that on your own. But this is basically the sniping position that I'm referring to. It might be possible that you could back up to prevent from getting spotted, or move closer to that building so that you have more solid cover. But basically, the point that I'm making is that from here, you got pretty good sniping along this rail. And a lot of these tanks might not even notice that you're here, and you're going to be able to hit their side armor. I do not have Sixth Sense on this tank, so I don't know if I'm being spotted. And you're going to be able to show your frontal armor against their side armor. The other good thing about playing in this position is that once you conquer the position and once you control this point of the map, it's really easy to move north along the rail and find new sniping positions where you'll be able to hit a lot of vulnerable tanks by shooting across the field. That was a lousy shot. I don't know why I shot that. So if you see a lot of tanks along that rail, a lot of red dots over there, you can come to this position. And you'll notice that I still have some extra shots going deep into my allied territory. Look at that shot on that Fury, even though I can't aim, apparently. It used to be that the shots were more towards the center of your reticle. But they changed the algorithm so it's dispersed a little bit more. You can look at where that guy is on the minimap, and you can see that I can still hit him. It looks like the train's going to be in the way. Unfortunately, I didn't do any damage. Oh, okay. So it's possible that he was well behind the train. Okay, so this is going to beyond the scope of that position. Let's move on to another video. This tank is the ML1. This is a Swedish Tier 8 heavy tank, and the map is Epic Normandy in the frontline game mode. You'll notice that the enemy team has just capped A. And what I'm doing is I'm going to come up here, I'm going to unload my shells into as many tanks as possible as they're vulnerable going to the resupply area. Doesn't look like I have easy shots. Okay, that looks like an easy shot, but he disappeared. I really only have a few seconds to get out of there. I don't think I'm going to get shelled, but it looks like I'm not really paying attention to what's going on. Okay, maybe I'm going to get shelled. Let's see if I make it. Oh, just in the nick of time. Oh, I took 718 damage. Okay, so that's not a position that I use frequently. It's just that I happen to be in that area, so I wanted to show you it's something that you can do. This tank is the Rheinmetall Borsig Waffenträger. This is a Tier 8 German tank destroyer, and the map is Epic Normandy in the frontline game mode. So if you look at where I am on the minimap, you'll see that I'm near Objective 2, and that there's a little bridge, and there is a ridge that I am sitting at the edge of. And you'll notice that there's enemy tanks up in the distance that are outside of my spotting range, but I can still shoot at them. And not only that, but I'm really lucky in that I've got allies in that area. My allies are going to push those tanks back, which is going to keep them in the open. I use the auto aim because I have problems with my ping time. I guess I was reloaded and I took too long to take that shot, so I didn't get the damage. But I just wanted to show you that I do hit a lot of tanks over there. And this is a good position that you can sit in. Let's take a look around real quick. There's going to be tanks that are going to try and cross under this bridge. They're going to be the slow tanks. The heavy tanks are going to come over here. The fast light tanks are going to come through this area right here, there's a building, there's a bunch of trains. They're going to come on the other side of those trains, and they're going to come rushing through on this side of the buildings, or maybe on the other side of the building, towards objective 2, which is right behind you. So here we are at a position near objective 2. You can see that these tanks are trying to cross over in this gap area. In fact, I wonder if that was a tank that I was hitting earlier in this game. No, that tank did die, so it has to be a different tank. But look at these tanks. Look at how open they are. You want to throw high explosives at the STRVs. You're more likely to do damage if you use HE rounds. Looks like I missed my chance to get him. That's too bad. Look at him out in the open. And I'm looking at the mini-map, and I see that there's other tanks over there that I can shoot at. I believe the Samoa is an auto-loader, which means that after he fires his rounds, he's going to reverse to go reload. And when he does that, he's going to take it. And he's out of the game. This tank is a Rheinmetall Borsig Waffenträger. This is a German Tier 8 tank destroyer, and the map is Epic Normandy in the frontline game mode. I am going to show you some sniping positions, or a sniping position that you can use in this game. I'm going to fast forward it so we get there a little bit faster. Okay, so what I usually do is I come over here and I knock this tree down. You can see that we're being capped. And look at that. This is the view of the cap. So from here, from here you can see you've got this house that's blocking. If you get spotted, you'll be safe from that direction. You do have to worry about being sniped from the other direction here. And you will be behind this tree. You can knock some trees down behind you. You can get more than one tank to line up. You got a pretty good view of the tanks as they show up onto the cap. Did 794 damage. It's really good. I took a lot of hit points away from that tank. So now I'm going to show you an alternate position. You'll notice that my ally, which is a defender, he's in green and he's on the cap. It says base capture blocked. That means that he has the engineering combat reserve. And just by sitting on the cap next to that rock, he's preventing the enemy from capping. Now I'm going to a secondary position, which is what I like about being over here. Okay, it looks like I'm not using the secondary position. But you can see I do have clear shots up on the ridge. And as long as I stay hidden, oh, look at that, 725 damage. As long as I stay hidden, they will never spot me because the tanks up on those flanks are outside of my spotting range. So you notice you got some trees over here. It looks like they took out that defender. If I have to be the only one to go in to kill those tanks, I'm going to do it. You'll notice that I am knocking the tree down, and I'm doing it on purpose. And the reason why is because I'm going to alternate between these two positions. I'm going to go there when there's nobody on the cap and I'm just sitting and watching, and then I'm going to go here when they're hiding and I need to get a shot at them. And if I knock that tree down, they might not spot me when I come back. 429 damage. Usually I knock down the tree to the left of it. So I was spotted. However, I can reuse that position and hopefully not be spotted. The reality is that you're going to get spotted when you fire your gun. But at least you have a little bit of extra time. I do have a slow tank. It's going to give them less reaction time. You can see that I'm going back to my position. Now you'll notice that there is a dead tank right here. I believe that what happens is that tank will be here until the player respawns, and then when he respawns, it will just suddenly explode. I'm not sure if it's true, but that's a theory that I have about the way the game works. I'm up to 1,948 damage, 471 spotting damage. So you'll see that I have some targets I can shoot at. You don't really have to hide from these tanks because they're never going to spot you. I got to use the auto aim because I'm playing internationally from the Philippines to North America, and weird things happen. So it's better to just use the auto aim and just forget about it. especially because it's long range, it doesn't matter. I'm also a light tank player, so I'm far more used to using the auto aim. Look at that, 769 damage. I got at least 4 good hits that we know about. And you're going to get a lot of side armor, which means you don't need the APCR rounds. You can use AP rounds and even HE rounds and be very effective. And that lows out of the game. 2,800 damage. This is a very powerful position. And I'm not saying that everybody should play in this position, but somebody should. You should have at least one of your allied tanks in that position. With these T-28s, you're always going to get... okay, it looks like he's turning around. I was going to say you always get shots on the side. It's 853 damage. You're more likely to hit the side armor of a turretless tank destroyer because they tend to only go forward and backwards. They usually don't turn around. That's 3,600 damage I've gotten. You're going to get more shots on the east side through that gap than you will on the west side. If you look on the minimap where the Pershing is, I rarely get shots on the west side. There's Scorpion G approaching. And I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm just saying that it happens less often. So here you can see I'm still monitoring. We don't have a lot of players in our sector, so we're not going to do as much damage. So I'm monitoring the cap. No one's going to get on that cap. You don't want to come through that opening if you can avoid it. I don't go through that opening. What I do is I go over the little hill. So here you can see that I've got shots on that Scorpion, and it looks like I could have shots on this WZ also. But there are obviously things that they can hide behind. They can go behind the slope of the hill. And the other issue is that they're on lower ground, so you've got a lot of terrain between you and them that you won't be able to shoot through. When you're in this situation, if you have this type of a tank, you might want to start with HE rounds because you're going after the frontal armor. I don't know if you can do team damage with the artillery strike. I think it does. So if you use HE round, you're more likely to do damage. This is a low penetrating gun, so I might not damage a strong tank that might come across. That might have been a recon flight that went across. If there's a recon flight and you're in a bush, you're going to get spotted. And I think you might even get spotted if you're in a smoke screen. It's something I don't like about the game. Oh, it's too bad I missed that shot. You can see that that WZ has taken an advanced position and he took me out of the game. This is a sniping position on the map Live Oaks. So look at the mini-map to see where I am. It looks like it is the K5 area. There's a bridge right to my left. There's a river in front of me, even though the water is brownish. There's some bushes over here. From here, I can hit any tank that crests over that ridge on the southeast side. And this is a good position if you have a weak tank. This is a 40 TP. This is a Polish medium or heavy tank. It's a horrible tank, and I don't have 6th Sense, and I probably don't have my crew trained to 100%. You're going to sit here with weakly armored tanks or tanks that have weak guns, things that cannot fight in the battle. It's not very maneuverable. Look at my ping time. Up in the upper left corner, it says 489 milliseconds because I play internationally, Philippines, playing on the NA server. So that's why I chose this position. I actually didn't stay here very long, but I wanted to show you that this is one of the sniping positions that you can use on this map.